Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Will the Planning and Zoning Commission for Wednesday, May 19th, 2021, please come to order. I wanted to let everybody know at the start of the meeting that unfortunately we are going to have to table all of our public hearings for this evening due to a notice defect. So long and short, we did not advertise correctly, which means if we acted on a public hearing and it appealed, we would lose no matter how we ruled on it. So as opposed to doing that, we're going to table all public hearings to 6/2/21. Let me just go through our regular stuff on this first. So we don't have to make any comments on this. Seated this evening are the following members. If you could raise your hand and wave. Alan Brown, Scott Edmond,
Hello.
Bill Freeman, Jamie Stein,
So,
Sean Cosgrove,
Hello.
Frank DeAndrea, and I'm Phil Johnson. Staff present this evening. I thought I saw, there's George. George Kroll, our town planner. Aaron Mannix, our zoning enforcement officer, and Lisa Piambino, our planning and zoning administrative assistant. This meeting will be recorded via the Zoom platform and made available on the town website for viewing. To open this meeting, would someone like to make a motion to continue all of our public hearings scheduled for this evening to the first meeting in June on the 2nd?
So moved. So moved.
Phil, those should be tabled.
Tabled?
Tabled.
Yes.
Sorry.
Move to table.
Thank you. I'll do a roll call vote. Alan Brown,
Yes.
Scott Edmond,
Yes.
Bill Freeman,
Yes.
Jamie Stein,
Yes.
Sean Cosgrove,
Yes.
Frank DeAndrea,
Yes. and
and I too shall vote. We have 7 members present this evening. Great. Let me get rid of this. Under our regular meeting, we have Cecile and Cheryl Badico, I believe it's pronounced, 51 Waterside Drive, map 8, lot 57, zone R2, special permit request for 273 15G, addition to a house on less than 10,000 square feet with coastal site plan request, set public hearing date for 6/2/21.
Moved.
That is set.
That's
These are
set.
just placeholders.
Okay, is the town of Guilford one set?
Yes.
These are all set. So the next one is town of Guilford, 45 Stonehouse Lane, map 33, lot 15, zone R3. Request for 3-lot subdivision CAM. Public hearing is set for 6/16/21. New applications this evening. Why don't we deal with moving the latter 2, and then we will go to Golden Goose. James Paul Kennefic, 73 Water Street, map 32, lot 38, zone R3, special permit request for section 273-19, accessory apartment over an existing 2-car garage. Receive and set public hearing date for 6/2. Would someone like to make that motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you very much. Alan Brown,
Yes.
Scott Edmond,
Yes.
Bill Freeman,
Yes.
Jamie Stein,
Yes.
Sean Cosgrove,
Yes.
Frank DeAndrea.
Yes.
I too shall vote to move that. Pruez Monta Medina, 81 Summer Street, map 33, lot 40-D3, zone R6, coastal site plan application to replace and expand a rear deck. Receive and set public hearing date for 6/2/21.
So moved.
Thank you very much.
Second.
Great. Alan Brown,
Yes.
Scott Edmond,
Yes.
Bill Freeman,
Yes.
Jamie Stein,
Yes.
Sean Cosgrove,
Yes.
Frank DeAndrea.
Yes.
And I too shall vote to move that. Our first item on our agenda for this evening, under new applications, Golden Goose LLC, 20 Carter Drive, map 75, lot 1A, zone I2, site request for site improvements and reconfiguration of parking lot. Receive and request to take action. Is there somebody here to present on behalf of Golden Goose LLC? Oh, if you're, I
Yes.
believe,
Ryan, you're muted.
hold on, I got him.
Bad start. Bad start. I'm sorry.
That's it. Your merits.
Uh,
Talking about this, how well people,
Yeah,
Zoom.
my kids were screaming in the background 30 seconds ago, so that's why. Anyway, for the record, my name is Ryan McAvoy. I'm a licensed professional engineer with SLR Consulting, formerly known as Mylone McBroom for some of you who may have dealt with our company in the past, although this is my first time in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission in Guilford. So it's a pleasure to be here. And in this particular application, we are simply seeking to reconfigure and slightly expand the existing parking at the Brook and Whittle facility at 20 Carter Drive. This property is at the intersection of Carter Drive and Goose Lane. It is in an I-2 manufacturing zone, and the use is manufacturing. The property is almost 10 acres in size, and Aaron, would you be so kind as to bring up the site plan set?
Would you like the existing one first?
Yes, please. I'd like to start with that. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Is that large enough?
Yes, perfect. So the primary parking for employees is located on the northeast corner of the property nearest to the Goose Lane Carter Drive intersection. And that parking area presently contains about 69 spaces, and I would characterize it probably as not as efficient as it otherwise could be. There are some single lane rows of parking, some dead end parking, and generally, probably some wasted space on the site. The building is rather large, located in the southwest corner, sort of abutting the I-95 entrance ramp, and to the west is a separate loading and unloading area. There is no parking on the west side of the site. Drainage is collected from roof drains in the building and the parking lot and discharged to the west towards the wetland. Trying to keep this as simple as possible. If we run to the next sheet, please. Thank you. So what we're doing is slightly reconfiguring the parking lot, generally keeping it in the same footprint as what's there today. We will improve the circulation by eliminating a dead-end parking lane and widening it slightly to allow for double loaded parking closest to Carter Drive. And with this, I would characterize, I believe, to be a modest change in the parking lot. We're able to add 17 parking spaces. With this change in parking configuration, we are adding just under 2,000 square feet of impervious surface. So to account for that and ensure that we are not increasing runoff to off-site, we are proposing a small underground stormwater management system consisting of about 8 StormTech 740 units, which are about 30-inch high plastic igloos, which are sized according to allow for no increase in runoff, in fact, a decrease in runoff for all storm events up to the 100-year storm. We will be providing for improvements to water quality by providing 4-foot deep sumps and new catch basins, hooded outlets, and an isolator row to within the underground system to allow for settlement of solids, coarse sand, and things of that nature, and easy maintenance. So the plan really is quite as simple as that when it comes to the changes in the site coverage. We are looking to repave other portions of the site, including the loading dock to the west and other parking areas to the east that are not going to be reconstructed. And with that, we did have on the west side an expanded concrete dumpster pad area. And in consultation with your town staff, we were informed that that site plan change would trigger the need for at least a wetland review, because not shown in this plan, there are wetlands off the existing parking to the west. And that change in coverage from impervious to concrete would be substantial enough of a change that would warrant the Wetland Commission to have to render a decision. So I'm stating on the record tonight that in order to allow this commission to proceed, hopefully, on the application. We are not proposing that expanded concrete loading area, or concrete dumpster area rather. And it's simply going to remain as asphalt as it is today and repaved. In addition, we do have some landscaping, some shade trees planted in island areas in the parking. We do have a couple light pole fixtures. We, in discussions with Aaron today, we were made aware of some complaints from neighbors, neighboring properties on the other side of Goose Lane about some of the spotlights that exist on the building today. And the neighbor did provide photos from inside their house that clearly demonstrate that some of the spotlights that illuminate the parking today are obviously intruding, or light intrusion onto a property. So I have spoken with the owners and they are committed and would certainly accept as a condition of approval that the existing light fixtures in the building would be redirected and or shielded as necessary to prevent the light fixture, or those light fixtures, from shining across Goose Lane onto the neighboring properties. In terms of what we're proposing specifically for this parking lot, we do have 2 light pole fixtures with 4 heads. We anticipate, or actually we're proposing these to be no higher than 14 feet. They're simply to illuminate the parking spaces in the immediate vicinity of those fixtures. They will have full cutoff fixtures, and they'll be LED. And reviewing the topography of the area, the proposed grade in our parking is roughly 25, elevation 25, and with a 14-foot pole, the top would be roughly 39. And looking at the neighboring properties across the street on Goose Lane, most of those houses are well above, at or above elevation 40 with their driveways and garages. So we fully expect that these new light fixtures will actually be below the houses across the street, and the existing fixtures in the building, again, we're committed to shielding or redirecting as necessary to prevent the neighbor from seeing those lights. And that sums up my relatively brief presentation. I would be happy to answer any questions the commission may have.
Great. Let me just, for the sake of the commission members, so this is the entrance for 95. This is the exit for 95. And this is the building we're talking about. And then the new parking area, as I understand it, goes this way.
Correct.
Terrific. And then the new lights will be there, and the old dumpster staying the way it is.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Great. Just like to pull up a picture.
I have a question about the drainage. You're putting in some new underground storage, but how does that tie into the existing 18-inch RCP that runs under the building? Is it going to abandon that, or is that going to be an overflow, or how's that work?
Yeah, so basically we're capturing runoff in the, I guess, the modified parking area through essentially one catch basin. And that catch basin and the new double row of parking will be directed to this underground chamber. And those underground chambers will first run through an outlet control structure where we have small diameter orifices in the outlet control structure, which will limit the rate at which runoff exits the underground structure, so that we're not increasing runoff from pre-construction conditions. And then the overflow from that underground chamber will be directed to existing catch basin on the property, which ties into the 18-inch pipe that goes underneath the building.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
There's only one way in and one way out, I understand.
That is correct.
That driveway is going to be wide enough for 2 cars to pass each other in different directions?
Yes, it's wide enough today to support that. We're just looking to, I guess, make the parking lot itself more efficient. But the driveway access is adequate.
Okay.
We have a letter from Kevin McGee, our environmental planner. Scott, do you want to take that one?
Yes. May 19th, 2021 to Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission from Kevin McGee, Environmental Planner, RE. Brook and Whittle Facility, 20 Carter Drive. The applicant is proposing a site plan modification to expand and reconfigure the existing parking area. The applicant has completed the checklist to guide low impact development best management practices, and will be installing an underground stormwater infiltration system to treat the increased impervious surface. The site plans for the project has written sedimentation and erosion control procedures that are in compliance with Section 273-97B, subsection 6 of the zoning regulations, and has provided a written maintenance and operation plan for the stormwater management system in accordance to Section 273-75, subsection F of the zoning code. A 28-foot by 48-foot concrete dumpster pad is proposed, but is not happening in this application. That's an excerpt from me. Inland wetlands are located approximately 50 feet from the location. The construction of the dumpster will require inland wetlands or commission approval. In order to make sure that the natural resources are protected, I recommend the following conditions of approval. 1, the erosion and sediment control measures be properly installed in the town of Guilford. Zoning enforcement officers shall be notified to inspect the sedimentation and erosion control measures prior to any site work. Soil erosion and sedimentation control measures shall be maintained until vegetation is established or suitable material is installed to the satisfaction of the zoning enforcement. 2, the property owner shall submit a yearly report to the town engineer documenting completion of the required inspections outlined in the stormwater management operations and maintenance plan.
I believe that's it, right?
Yes, Phil, as Ryan had indicated, we did receive a concerned letter from neighbor Donna Crescenzo. She did take the time to write the commission a letter to reflect those concerns and send some photos of the lighting. I did just want to kind of show you some of these spotlights here so that you could see what they're going to be addressing. These are sort of, unfortunately, these are turned, but you can see these spotlights here through the window shining in. This is a property at, I believe it's 199 Goose Lane, where she's located right across the street. These vertical lights are from the flagpole, I believe. The others are spotlights off of the walls of the building. So those are what Ryan indicated would be taken care of as part of.
I do see our potential proposed motion. Do you have any proposed wording with respect to a condition on the lighting?
Sure. That any existing lighting on the building or on site that does shine into the neighbor's property either be adjusted or shielded properly to relieve any of that light pollution. I would also recommend including that condition that the dumpster pad is not part of the approval at this time. And we don't have a detail submitted for the site lighting that is proposed, we just confirm, and Ryan did on the record, that those will be 14-foot poles, full cutoff as well.
And we don't need a photometric plan for this, do we? It's not required, right?
No, I mean, having two lights, as Ryan had indicated, and I think you kind of touched on that, these new lights, how the grade is lower and being directed down with shielding, I don't believe there will be any shine off the property lines.
I think I would echo that, and I think the larger problem is the lights that exist in the building today.
Right.
And a photometric plan of our proposed lights probably wouldn't adequately reflect what those existing lights are doing. So I think shielding those or redirecting them
Mhm.
will certainly make all the difference. Our proposed lights are relatively minor in nature, and just again, with the topography, we're well below the adjacent properties with what we're looking to do. And certainly those existing lights, if they're properly addressed, I would hope that there's certainly much reduced impact.
Terrific.
And the other one, Ryan, was, I'm not sure how the flagpole, I have not seen that at night illuminated. I'm not sure how they're angled, but those may be.
I think, I'm not sure myself. I haven't been there at night, so I can't really testify to that. But I think we can work with you to try to avoid, any issues with the neighbor.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Hey, Frank, you want to grab the proposed motion?
I'd love to. Can we get it up there?
Oh, sure.
Please.
You got it,
I
Aaron?
was running late.
Here we go.
Voted that the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approve a site plan revision for Golden Goose LLC, 20 Carter Drive, map 75, lot 1A for site improvements and parking lot changes as shown on quote, parking area expansion, Brook and Whittle facility, end quote, prepared by SLR dated March 5th, 2021, revised April 29th, 2021, 5 sheets. This application approved with the following condition. One, that the wall lights,
Hold on, let me throw one out for you, Frank. Any existing building lighting will either be adjusted to prevent light from escaping from the property, will be adjusted to prevent light from escaping from the property. Is that fair, Aaron?
That's-
They're either adjusted or shielded. Mhm.
And then the other condition would be the site plan revision will not include a concrete dumpster pad detailed in the application.
And two conditions from Kevin.
and
the-
Kevin McGee,
Correct.
two
and two
conditions.
conditions from Kevin McGee with respect to sediment and erosion control and inspection.
Exactly. So including Kevin's, so the two conditions that the chairman just proposed and the two conditions of Kevin McGee. And then, do you want to go back down a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm scrolling.
That's okay.
Hold on. I forgot I was sharing. So I'm sorry.
I believe it says this application,
At
Is
least I wasn't
approved.
looking at pictures.
this application is approved based upon the finding that it conforms with the zoning code of the town of Guilford.
Thank you, Frank. Would someone like to second that?
Second.
Good.
We really relaxed without having any public hearings tonight.
Uh, Is there any comments or concerns from commissioners? Ryan, we appreciate your willingness to address the lighting issues while we're doing this. While this is not a public hearing, if anyone from the public has any comments, they'd like to keep it brief, but we always like to hear your input if you have any concerns. If I can't see you or your camera's off, hello, if you could state your name and address for the record, that would be great.
It's Donna Crescenzo, 199 Goose Lane in Guilford. And I'm outside of my garden, sorry. Know how long these are going to go. So I really appreciate your taking the time to do this and your willingness to do it. I hope it gets enforced. And I guess I have one little concern, and that is that the overall light from these 4 more fixtures will increase just the ambient amount of light. And I hope that if that were to happen, that maybe we could plant some trees or something to kind of reduce some of that. But I guess we won't know until it's up. And you're the guys that would probably know better than me.
Most of the new lighting, it's all down lighting and LED, and it really should vastly improve any light pollution escaping from the property.
Okay, well, I'm certainly willing, and this would be a big improvement. I will tell you that there's 2 large fixtures that aim upward from the ground to the flagpole. And I did meet with the building manager at one point in February, March, and he said he would address at least, he was glad that he could still, do the flagpole. but he would address the other ones and put hoods on them, but nothing ever happened. So I did try to go work with them.
Well,
So thanks for this.
so that their application is well timed with respect to your concerns. So we will do
Thank
our
you very
best to
much.
make sure it complies. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? With no comments for or against, I'll call the vote with respect to the site plan. Proposed motion from Frank and seconded. Alan Brown,
Yes.
Scott Edmund,
Yes.
Bill Freeman,
Yes.
Jamie Stein,
Yes.
Sean Cosgrove,
Yes.
Frank DeAndrea,
Aye.
and I shall also vote yes. Thank you, Ryan. We look forward to watching your progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members. Good night.
Terrific. Our next order of business, I believe, is Mr. Bishop. BW Bishop and Sons, DBA Bishop's Orchard Winery, map 52, lot 7, zone PV2 site plan application to regrade the north end of the farm field to create a larger level field. Receive and request action. Good evening, Keith.
Hello there, Phil, commission members. Sorry to see you again in short order with some more revisions that we didn't anticipate coming so quickly, but here we are. And the application before you follows the inland wetland approval that took place at their last meeting. And I don't know what else you'd like me to say right now, or
I hate to interrupt you. I know it sounds redundant, but if you could just state your name and address for the record, that would be great.
sure. Sorry, Phil. Keith Bishop, 25 Meadow Ridge Lane, Guilford, representing Bishop's Orchards.
Terrific. Thank you.
Keith, did you want to walk through the site plan? I'm happy to kind of give a brief overview if that's easier. What would you prefer?
Why don't you go ahead and give a brief overview since you've been through it with me before, and then I can go from there with you.
Sure. As Keith had said, this is an engineered site plan done by Michael Ott from Summerhill Engineering. Keith went before the Inland Wetlands Commission last month. They had excess dredged materials from their pond on Dunk Rock Road that had dried out, and they were looking to utilize some of that fill material behind the Little Red Barn. So this is your main store here and your parking lots, and here's the Little Red Barn. Your last site plan approval approved the expansion of their patio area here, and as the current topography kind of slopes down this way towards the wetland. And so they were looking to do some filling in this end originally, almost up to 8 feet in some areas of fill. And what Mike Ott had suggested instead was to do some cutting of material just past the stone wall area along the post road, and use some of that material. So it wasn't quite as a significant amount of fill here on the slope. This dotted line here is proposed erosion controls, hay bales, and silt fence protection. And the area, there are some stockpiles of material now that will be spread, and the area will be seeded. It will be used as lawn for additional seating areas that, the commission had approved some more seating for the Red Barn, and also to be used for just a flatter terrain for hay rides. I think that pretty much covers it. There's an existing DOT outlet drain here, and that will be maintained and protected with the silt fence area. And the Inland Wetlands Commission had has a number of conditions as far as erosion controls. And in addition to that, there is an anti-tracking pad here proposed at the edge of the parking lot for truck access. That's essentially it.
Yep, well put.
We have a letter from Kevin McGee, our environmental planner. Jamie, do you want to grab that one?
Sure. Aaron, would you mind putting it up there for me?
Yes, sure.
May 19th, 2021, to the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission from Kevin McGee, Environmental Planner, regarding Bishop's Orchards, 1355 Boston Post Road, Guilford, Connecticut, 06437, Assessor Map 52, Lot 7. Bishop's Orchards is proposing to regrade the field behind the Little Red Barn. The applicant has completed the checklist to guide low-impact development best management practices. The plans for the project have sedimentation and erosion control procedures that are in compliance with 273-97B subsection 6 of the zoning regulations. The Guilford Inland Wetlands Commission at its May 12, 2021 meeting approved a regulated activity for the regrading of the field to create additional space for activities within 100 feet jurisdictional review zone with conditions. In order to make sure that the natural resources are protected, I recommend the following conditions of approval. 1, the Town of Guilford Zoning Enforcement Officer shall be notified to inspect the sedimentation and erosion control measures prior to any site work. Soil stockpiles should be contained by silt fencing and/or hay bales. Soil erosion and sedimentation control measures shall be maintained until vegetation is established or suitable material is installed to the satisfaction of the zoning enforcement officer.
Thank you. We also have, Keith, is there anything else you want to add, or can we move toward a proposed motion and discussion?
Yep, I don't have anything else to add unless there's questions I can help with.
Well, are there any questions from commissioners? Are there any questions from the public? Not that we have to take any, but.
We don't have any public. Only
That's not true. Everyone's going to watch it on Zoom. We're going to have plenty of it.
It's a private meeting.
There is a proposed motion. Sean, do you want to grab that one?
I have a question first.
Okay.
What is the reason we're grading this all out even for? What's the reason for that? Why are we bringing soil in and everything like that in this area?
Oh, thanks for asking. We're going to create a bigger level area, so activities we have with people around don't have as much of a grade, so we have more usable area. We've had some difficulty with one of the kids' rides that we've had at the slope on it and what the traction for safety with that particular one is. We've had to limit where we put the hay maze due to the slope contours and stacking hay bales together for that. And it will give us a more usable area. We don't believe we're gonna have any more material brought in than what is already on site. We're gonna, as Aaron indicated, be regrading starting up closer to Route 1. So there'll be a gentle slope right off of the stone wall, and then that material will be brought down to level things out in better stance that's showed on the contours that Mike Ott did the plan for.
Okay, that sounds good, except there's not going to be any parking over there, right, in that area?
No, this is all for the agri-tainment, people enjoyment of the site, correct?
Okay, thank you.
Terrific.
So
Yeah.
Aaron, if you put that up, I'll be happy to read it.
Sure.
Proposed motion voted that the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approve a site plan application to regrade the farm field to create a larger level area as shown on, quote, grading plan Bishop's Orchards, unquote, 2 sheets dated 5/1/21, prepared by Summerhill Civil Engineers and Land Surveyors, LLC. The application is approved with the following conditions. Number 1, the application is approved based on a finding that it conforms with the zoning code.
So in other words, there are no conditions.
And Kevin McGee's,
Well, actually, we did. We had
Yeah, no, yeah,
the silt
right.
fence
Silt fencing and
and sedimentation control per Kevin
Yeah.
McGee's
Yep.
memo. Keith, you okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's already in the inland wetlands approval, which they probably have more weight on this stuff than what Aaron will be doing anyway.
Any questions or concerns from commissioners? I mean, I think making a more level field will make it a safer environment when people are out there and having rides and the like. So I'm all in favor of things getting safer. With no questions, comments, or concerns, I'll call the vote. All in favor, Alan Brown,
Yes.
Scott Edmund,
Yes.
Bill Freeman,
Yes.
Jamie Stein,
Yes.
Sean Cosgrove,
Aye.
Frank DeAndrea.
Aye.
And I shall also vote
Thanks, Frank.
to approve. Thank you very much, Keith. Appreciate your
Thank you
time.
very much.
Look forward to
Nope,
having it planted and enjoying it.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care, y'all.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Other commission business, any correspondence, Lisa or Aaron?
No.
Okay, any ZEO stuff?
No, I will have, I'll have some more updates for you on Benton Knoll at our next meeting.
We do have a mandatory referral from the
Yes.
selectmen. Let's see what that's all about.
For the property directly next door to the town Public Works facility.
Okay,
So it's,
in accordance with
there is an
Mass General
industrial
Statute
building there.
8-24, I am forwarding the request to your consideration at your May 19th, 2020 meeting. Mandatory referral, the Board of Selectmen at its May 3, 2021 meeting recommended to the Planning and Zoning Commission under CGS 8-24, the purchase of a 1.68, I'm assuming acre parcel
Yes.
of property at 50 driveway located on Assessor's Map 34, Lot 17-1. Thank you for your consideration. Well, I guess it's been referred to us. Do we need to do anything with that other than say thank you for the referral and send it back to them? Do we have to approve it?
Yes, in finding consistency with wearing your planning hats, you would do a favorable recommendation. Should you feel this is an appropriate purchase.
I don't know much about it, but I do have trust in the
George-
selectmen.
Yeah, George, you were at the public hearing. I mean, this is essentially it's municipal use. It's an industrial property. They're looking to hopefully relocate some park and rec facilities there in hopes of removing the temporary office trailer that's on the property for Public Works now. This building has storage abilities. It has a bathroom with shower, so could potentially do a bunk room situation for plowing for Park and Rec. It gives them a little more substantial area as opposed to where they are
That's
now.
right. That's the, in the short term, that's what it would be used for. Long term, this is part of the proposal that was made in the Town Center South Plan to consider relocating the Public Works Garage complex, which would also include this building if we do acquire it, which would create a more viable site for potential redevelopment consistent with the Town Center South Plan. This was actually approved by by town meeting on Monday of this week, this purchase. So it is specifically consistent with the Plan of Conservation and Development and the Town Center South Plan. The acquisition is.
Got it. Terrific.
I think you have a
Keith
motion.
Bishop here. I may be out of order, but I'll just say Phil is being on the committee that put this forward, has been working on it for almost 10 years, as George knows. This is a good move for the town, long-term planning wise. So
Great.
appreciate your support.
Certainly. Well, would someone like to do we have to make a motion to approve the mandatory referral?
You do, but you should have a proposed motion.
Do we?
I don't know.
Hold on here.
I wrote one, but maybe you don't.
I've gone through this pretty closely. I didn't see one, but
Okay, well,
hold on.
I do not have one.
I think you just need to approve the mandatory referral and
Yeah.
find that it's consistent with the Plan of Conservation and Development.
I'll make a motion to approve the mandatory referral based on a finding that it's consistent with the Plan of Conservation and Development.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns? I mean, I'm assuming town did its due diligence and we're buying a nice clean piece of property. And the selectmen would assure us of that. So I'll call the vote. Frank DeAndrea.
Aye.
Sean Cosgrove,
Aye.
Amy Stein,
Yes.
Bill Freeman,
Yes.
Scott Edmund,
Yes.
Alan Brown,
Yes.
and I shall also vote to approve that. Great. No ZEO report, correct?
Correct.
Ed, did anyone have a chance to take a peek at the minutes? And would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I second.
Great. Quick call to vote on that. Frank DeAndrea,
C.
Sean Cosgrove,
Aye.
Amy Stein,
Yes.
Bill Freeman,
Yes.
Scott Edmund,
Yes.
Alan Brown,
Yes.
and I shall also, with no further business before the Planning and Zoning Commission by a show of hands, would someone like to make a motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Let the.
I do have one
know that
question,
There
though.
was a unanimous vote to adjourn. Get your rest,
I have a
people.
question.
Yeah,
I have a question for you, Phil. At what point do you decide to read the names backwards?
you know, I have my
I mean,
little.
I just like, I have a little.
You're
thing I'm
shaking it
keeping
up.
over here,
I know,
and
I just gotta make sure everyone's awake. And I even make little notes as to who read what, and so it's all good.
I'm like, I have like an over under going on. When's he gonna switch?
Well, I'm glad you noticed. All right, folks. As I said, get your rest. We're gonna have an interesting meeting on the 2nd.
Doozy, huh? All right.
So
Busy.
we'll try and get as much of the work done in advance of that as we can, but I'm sure it will be saucy. So take care.
Take care, guys.
Good night.
Good night.